Now I'm going to push you forward like that. Okay? Breathe. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Then I'll push you forward. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Keep doing it. Pull your hand forward. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Just relax. Trying to stretching up the muscle. Good. Just relax. There you go. Let it loose.
Tao of Jeet, page 57. Desirable characteristics to promote speed. Mobility, spring, resilience, elasticity, resistance to fatigue, stamina and physical fitness, physical and mental alertness, imagination and anticipation. Exercises which increase skill and flexibility of both hand and footwork are indispensable building blocks for the fighter. Many fighters fail to appreciate how much true speed depends on economy of motion, good form, and good coordination. Thus, constant mechanical drill, practicing the activity is essential. A certain amount of emotional stimulation helps as well. Shadow boxing is a good agility exercise as well as a method for building up speed. Keep your mind on the job. Imagine that your worst enemy, if you happen to have one, is there in front of you and go all out. And go out to give him all you've got. Use your imagination to the utmost. Try to anticipate the moves your phantom rival will endeavor to put across and work yourself up into a real fighting frame of mind. Shadow boxing helps win speed, gives ideas, and helps the mind fix boxing moves ready for use when they are most wanted.
Now, like that?
Yeah.
With shadow boxing and increasing of speed, it sounds like it's just as much mental as it is physical, like working out your mind while working out your body, like envisioning, how should I say, like if somebody's trying to attack you, like mentally, like seeing things or anticipating things before they happen.
Turn around. Oh, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Turn around.
Economy of form and relaxing the muscles add to speed. One of the greatest adjustments the novice athlete must make in competition is to overcome the natural tendency to try too hard, to hurry, strain, press, and try to blast the whole fight at once. As the athlete forces himself to give everything he has to the performance, his mental demands exceed his physical capacities. The result may be described as generalized rather than specific effort. Overall tension and unnecessary muscular contractions act as brakes, reducing speed and dissipating energy. The body performs better when the athlete lets it go than when he tries to drive it. When the athlete is running as fast as he can, he should not feel as though he ought to be running faster. Elements that make greater speed possible. Preliminary warming up to reduce viscosity increase elasticity and flexibility, and tune the system to a higher physiological tempo, heart rate, blood flow, and pressure, respiratory adjustment. Preliminary muscular tonus and partial contraction, a suitable stance, proper attention focus, reduction of stimuli reception to rapid perceptual habits, and reduction of the resultant movements to fast reacting habit patterns. After momentum in throwing or elliptical striking movement has been generated by a long radius and a long arc in the swing, the speed may be increased without applying additional force by suddenly shortening the radius of the arc. This effect is seen in the pull-in at the last of the arc in the hammer throw, in the backward thrust against the forward leg by the batter in baseball, and so on. Snapping a towel or a whip are common examples of the same shortened lever principle.
Can you read that part again for me, please?
After momentum in a throwing or elliptical striking movement has been generated by a long radius and a long arc in the swing, the speed may be increased without applying additional force by suddenly shortening the radius of the arc. This effect is seen in the pull-in at the last of the arc in the hammer throw, in the backward thrust against the forward leg by the batter in baseball, and so on. Snapping a towel or a whip are common examples of the same shortened lever principle.
What I'm thinking he's talking about is like, it's basically come down to like the whipping effect. Like if you take a towel, you're gonna whip it at the end, like that. So he's probably trying to tell you like the same principle you would apply to the back fist, or to like the hook kick, or the front kick. The snapping effect is if you snap your leg, which I do a lot too. Snapping effect is like keeping people from grabbing your leg. You snap it and it's like back in place right away. That's why you're trying to use that sample of the towel. Because if you want to hit somebody with a towel, you're not just going to swing it. You're going to snap it, boom. Like you're trying to slap them on their butt. And the same way you're trying to tell you to apply it to your kicks or your fists. It's the whipping effect. And it's actually quicker and it's more deadly actually.
Yeah, just breaking down the science more.
Right.
Science of movement.
The whip-like or coiled spring action of the human body in its striking, throwing movement pattern is a remarkable phenomenon. The movement of the body may start with the push of the toes, continue with the straightening of the knees and the trunk, add the shoulder rotation, the upper arm swing, and the cumulative in a forearm, wrist, and finger snap. The timing is such that each segment adds its speed to that of the others. The shortened lever principle is used to accentuate many of the particular speeds of this uncoil or whip. The rotation of each segment around its particular joint fulcrum is made at high speed for that particular part. But each segment rate is accelerated tremendously because it rotates around a fulcrum already highly accelerated.
Okay, I don't have a reflection, but I just have a general question. What's a fulcrum?
Well, you could grab the dictionary out there.
Can you read it again?
A whip-like or coiled spring action of the human body in a striking, throwing movement pattern is a remarkable phenomenon. The movement of the body may start with the push of the toes, continue with the straightening of the knees and the trunk, add the shoulder rotation and the upper arm swing, and culminate in a forearm, wrist, and finger snap. The timing is such that each segment adds its speed to that of the others. The shortened lever principle is used to accentuate many of the particular speeds of this uncoil or whip. The rotation of each segment around its particular joint fulcrum is made at high speed for that particular part. But each segment rate is accelerated tremendously because it rotates around a fulcrum already highly accelerated.
think he's talking about the function of the body itself when you're trying to do the snap and movement, like I talked about before. When he's talking about the full body coming from one side to the other, like it start from, like, for example, from the left leg. If you're on the right leg, start from the left leg and go move on to the right leg outwards into your toe, into the snapping motion. So he's talking about the body is so amazing. If you do it properly, you can get that power coming from the rear leg. That's what I think he's talking about. He's talking about the body itself, the whole body.
Yeah, I don't know what a fulcrum is, but what I was having a vision as you were reading, like he was describing the body version of a whip. So like top from the toes, kind of like, you know, the way a whip moves, it kind of like a wave almost.
Right, like breakdancing. Like pop rock.
Right, yeah, right. That's what I was kind of picturing.
Yeah, I visualize the same thing too. That's what I'm saying, it's coming from the rear leg to the front leg.
It's like water.
Yeah.
Because I saw this dance on YouTube, and it had millions of views, and then the title was like, this guy moving like water. And I saw the dance. He was just his whole body was flowing, like just waving, you know. And if you know how to move your body like that, you could strike really hard, you know, because you have control of every single little piece. That's what Bruce is talking about, like from everything from the toe all the way leading up to your fingers and your wrists and everything. It's like you're transferring all that energy like a whip. But it has to be all in coordination. You have to have body control, you know.
Right. If you've ever tried to whip a real whip, it's hard. Like to get it to make that cracking sound, it takes it's hard to do.
And it's fast and it's deadly too. If you get a whip like that,
Maybe we gotta order one so we can practice.
That'd be cool.
And for people that are late.
Tao.
I can say that because I sit down. I just stepped out the
Here's the Tao.
Doing some underground shit.
In throwing a ball, all the accumulated speeds of the body are present at the elbow when the forearm snaps over its fast-moving elbow fulcrum. Most of the distance throwing or arc striking acts illustrate these speed principles. One does not hit with his feet, but he does not start the momentum with his feet. But he does start the momentum with his feet. An important aspect of this multiple action of acceleration is the introduction of each segment movement as late as possible in order to take full advantage of the peak acceleration of its fulcrum. The arm is kept so far behind that the chest muscles pulling against it are tensed and stretched. The final wrist snap is postponed until the last instant before release, or in striking before contact. In football, the punter puts the last snap into his knee and foot as, or straight after, he makes contact with the ball. It is this last moment acceleration that is meant by block through the man in football or punch through the man in boxing. The principle is to preserve the maximum acceleration up to the last instant of contact. Regardless of distance, the final phase of a movement should be the fastest. Maintaining this increasing acceleration as long as there is contact is sound. This concept, however, is sometimes confused with the idea of a full, free, uninhibited motion of body inertia after the contact is over. This latter principle is sound only when such relaxed follow-through would not interfere with the speed of the next arc.
He must have watched a lot of video. Maybe even watched it himself.
He sure did.
Breaking it down.
Watch videos, read a lot of books.
I mean, but we all do that. or a lot of people, you know, you got a bunch of people who watch football like all the time, like religiously. They know like all these little things, you know. Put a lot of time into something, then you're gonna know the little details about everything.
Well, it's fascinating to hear him talk about how things work in different facets, you know, whether it's, you know, like I said, football or track and field or baseball, football, whatever, like how the body works, just the science behind it. It all applies. It's just what you're trying to do with it.
I think it's all relevant. Like, if you, before practicing martial arts, if you did like dancing or if you play sports and you're good at it, then it develops body coordination, like throwing a football, throwing a baseball, swinging a bat, hitting a ball, hand-eye coordination, basketball, and all that. If you're good at sports coordination, then your body's kind of trained for that already, and then you can just apply it to the martial arts, you know. Because like the power generated in striking like a punch or a kick it's not going to be too different than swinging a bat or swinging a golf club, swinging a tennis racket, you know, shooting a basketball. I mean, it's just movement and getting used to movement and coordination with your entire body, so you can deliver the maximum amount of power with your whole body with each strike. Speed is a complex aspect. It includes time of recognizing and time of reacting. The more complex the situation to which one reacts, the slower one is likely to be. Thus, the effectiveness of feints. The athlete can accelerate his speed by learning proper awareness, attention focus, and suitable preparatory postures. The rate at which he can contract his muscles is an important aspect in his relative speed.
Can you say that one more time?
The athlete can accelerate his speed by learning proper awareness, attention focus, and suitable preparatory postures. The rate at which he can contract his muscles is an important aspect in his relative speed.
That, the last part about the rate of being able to contract the muscles got me thinking about, I learned something when I was a runner, track runner, and I learned about the different speeds with which muscles can contract. And they can be trained as such. They call them fast twitch and slow twitch muscles. So sprinters have, you know, they work on their fast twitch muscles. Long distance people work on slow twitch muscles. And you have to work on both. So I guess I don't know. I was just thinking about that in terms of like, how do you train that part of your muscle to contract quicker?
I'd like to add something to what you just said. I was thinking actually the exact same thing. Fast twitch, slow twitch muscles. When I think of fast twitch muscles, I think of like the explosiveness, like you said, sprinters, or like in the NBA, you know, you got people that dunk like a lot.
Right.
They have, you know, fast twitch muscles. I mean, everybody has both, but there's a really trained. Slow twitch muscles, like you said, muscular endurance and all that. I don't know exactly how you train on it, but it is, you can see a clear difference in just how people move.
Well, fast twitch muscles is like say you're punching really fast, you're kicking really fast, or when you're lifting weights, you kind of do it faster. You know how we do pull-ups, and you can do it fast, or you can do it slow. Push-ups, you can do it fast, you can do it slow. Fast twitch muscles is just like practicing it fast. So sometimes you want to vary it up. Like sometimes you should do push-ups with slow, good form, Other times you gotta do it really, really fast as you can. So then you're activating the fast twitch muscles. A lot of the fast twitch stuff is really relevant for the martial arts. But like I said, Chazé said you need to work both, which is true, because when you work the slow twitch muscles, it gives you a strong foundation and better balance. Like fast twitch is like the jump rope, like going like at really high speed. Slow twitch is more like holding horse stance. So you need like both. So you need to be able to punch fast. You need to be able to do push-ups fast. You need to be able to do push-ups slow. You need to be able to do sometimes in the bench press, rather than doing like the same amount of reps. Sometimes you might do put less weight and do like 20 times. Sometimes you might just bench press the bar and just do it like 100 times. Sometimes you just do max weight and just do it 1 time. Other times you do it like 8 times, 5 times, 3 times. Like you're just mimicking with all these different reps. So then it's forcing your body to do slow twitch and fast twitch together. So then you have both. But a lot of people, like say powerlifters, all they do is slow twitch stuff, and they just move super slow in everything that they do. They might be able to lift a lot of weights, but if you had them sprint, they'll be like the last place. If you had them fight, they'll get destroyed because the people just keep moving everywhere. They can't catch them. And you got people that only work fast twitch muscles, and as soon as you get a hold of them, you crush them because they don't have any strength, you know, behind what they do. Even if they hit you, you don't even feel it because it's like a mosquito biting you, and you just slap a mosquito and it dies. You know, like you need to have both. Like when you're fast, but okay, does your strike have any power behind it? Are they gonna even feel it? Like who cares if you're fast if they don't feel anything that you're delivering to them? You know, that's kind of like you doing touch contact sparring, and then the other guy's doing like hitting you hard. Okay, you touch him as many times as you want, but he hits you 1 time and then you're knocked down. So that's like slow twitch versus fast twitch. You know, but then if you're fast and strong, that's when that's what you want to do. You want to be fast and strong, not just fast.
Can I add something with the feints?
Yeah.
I know I keep on bringing up basketball references, but it keeps reminding me of like Kobe pump faking somebody, or Akeem Olajuwon with the footwork that he had. You know, he used to fake guys out that way. Like you said, it's all relative to like body movement. Akeem Olajuwon he played soccer growing up. He didn't even play basketball. So I see the connection with the earlier statement Bruce had made as far as like body motion and how it's all relevant to one another.
Yeah, and that's the thing about fakes, like feints and fakes, is it's kind of hard to teach unless you're in the moment. That's what safe sparring is good for. Is that like we can work drills, but they're not gonna really fake you like with the best of their genuine ability because it's a drill. So what's the problem with drills is it becomes repetitive and it gets you get predictable. But with safe sparring, it's unpredictable. You can do anything you want. Then they're gonna maximize their efforts to fake you out, and then during that time is when you're training yourself to read the fakes, and that's critical. You know, that's towards your development. But it's kind of that's the type of training that's very difficult to get. Like you can stand in front of a punching bag, you can have a quarterback, you can have a winning dummy, you can even have somebody holding focus mitts, but they're not going to really help you develop that ability to fake yourself, like, you know, to fake the other person out, or if the other person trying to fake you out, you don't go for it, and then you read them. And that only really happens during like live sparring. You know, and essentially when you're sparring, that's your opportunity to work on that aspect that's going to be very difficult to work on. Because you can grab anybody from the street and spar with them, but they're not going to give you the experience that somebody that knows what they're doing that's going to fake you out. You know, so like when you have an opportunity to spar with somebody that knows what they're doing, you want to grasp that opportunity, you know, because that's rare, is to find that. You can't just go into a store and just buy that and just work on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need somebody that knows what they're doing, and then they're really gonna try to fake you out. It's not a drill; they're really just faking you out. Like, you know, he faked high, you blocked high, he kicked you in the nuts, and now you get mad at him, but he didn't do nothing wrong. He just faked you out, and that's, you know, that's what you gotta work on, and that's what sparring highlights. A lot of that, like, people can hit the punching bag as hard as they want all day, but it doesn't mean anything when it comes to sparring until everything comes together. You know, so some of the best people out there are people that are like masters at deception when it comes to sparring, and then they can fake people out and then find openings. Not just find openings, but also create openings. And that's a skill that takes many years to develop, because you got to spar with a lot of different people in order to get that variety, in order to get the feeling of how to do it in different situations with different people.
This is a question. It's kind of a philosophical question. I just popped in my head. Do you think athleticism can be trained, or do you think that that's something innate?
I think it's both. You know, like, everybody, you can't take your athleticism for granted. You might have good genes, and if you just don't train at all, like, you're not going to reach your potential. Like, you might still be in shape compared to the average person because you got good genes, but you're still not going to reach your potential. So somebody like Usain Bolt was like born to be the fastest runner ever, but he can't do that without training. Like, he had the genetics and he had the training to get to the level that he was at. Same thing with Michael Jordan. But like, if you don't have good genes, you could train and you'll get better than where you were, but you'll never be able to reach the level of other people that have the genes and the training. So what ends up happening, you got good genes and you do training, and then now they're adding the elements of steroids, and then that's what's giving these people an edge over the people that have the genes and the training. But that's what's going on. You know, so some people, you're just not born with certain genes, then you're just gonna be able to reach to a certain level of development. Like my height, for example, that's not gonna ever change. So I just gotta work with what I got, but it doesn't mean that I can't improve. I can improve, but I'm gonna be limited by what I was born with. You know, so it's a combination of both. You know. But the interesting thing about martial arts is that because it's not a sport, like, you can almost, if you get good at what you're born with, it's almost like you could overcome anybody in martial arts, in a real survival fighting context. You know, because it's not a sport and there's no rules, you can essentially use what others might perceive as your weakness as your strength. So martial arts, or just arts in general, is not really limited by genetics too much in my eyes.
So it's really just about maximizing your own potential.
Yes. And then not just for the time being, but for eternity. So it's supposed to be like a lifelong training. So sport is usually like, okay, who's the best right now at this time? But it's not like an overall life where it's like, okay, who represented for their entire lives. It's always like, who is the best at during this time, during this period, compared to this person during this time, during that period. But martial arts is more like your whole life existence. So, say for example, you train really hard and your ultimate goal is to be able to do 50 pull-ups. Okay, and then finally you train like 10 years, you finally do it, but then you just stop training, and then you can't even do it anymore. Like, you know, like a few years later or 10 years later, that's not what it's about. It's supposed to be a lifestyle to be able to reach your potential for your entire life, opposed to just one point in your life. You know, so that's one major difference. Because you're constantly challenging yourself to better yourself as you age, and then it's like a never-ending like struggle to be better than what you were in the past. Because you're fighting against time, and just like Usain Bolt, he could always run faster. Like, there's no such thing as, oh, I mastered this. You could always try to beat your best time ever. So as you progress in martial arts, you could always be better than what you were, and that provides motivation to continue to train, opposed to just reaching a certain goal and be like, all right, I got it, okay, I'm done now, what's next? You know, it's a different approach. Alright, Shazay and Bang, what do you guys want to work on?
I want to do the Phoenix War.